Ragnar hurriedly connected the phone, and blurted out, "How's it going? Have you rescued the father and son?" A crying voice came from the other side. "Mr. Ragnar, we were in an ambush. Everyone died. Only I ran out alive." "What?" Ragnar snorted inwardly, and asked sternly, "What's the matter? You went in as 16 people, but you couldn't get back 2 wastes?" The man cried and said, "The other party has no fewer people than us, and they seem to have known that we are coming and have been in ambush here. We picked them up and the father and son were about to drive back, and then they were hit by the ambush." As he said, the person said again, "Mr. Ragnar, Changbai Mountain is a ghost place with sparsely populated land, and there may not be a visitor from outside the mountain in 10 days and 8 days in this place, so people like us have too many goals. Before we approached their village, they had already begun to guard. This kind of thing really has to be done by supermasters like the 8 heavenly kings. Otherwise, I'm afraid not enough people will be able to see it. Because I don't even know how many people they have here. Oh shit." Ragnar instantly threw the cigar in his hand to the ground, sparks splashing everywhere. 16 people were gone, 15 died, all of them were pensions for these people, which cost at least tens of millions, which was all lost money. Knowing this, it's better to bear first. At this moment, his brother Dawson suddenly rushed in and said excitedly, "Brother, Dad is awake." Ragnar was happy and uncomfortable when he heard this. The good news is that Dad finally woke up. What's uncomfortable is that he knew his dad could wake up now. Why did he send 15 people to die? He woke up, and he told him now that the 8 heavenly kings might be able to set off on Changbai Mountain tomorrow. Thinking of this, he sighed, then got up and said, come see Dad." Mr. Wu was also an unborn hero. Mentioned him in Orus Hill. No one knew. This person had a brain when he was young, and he was able to build the Wu family into the first family in the south of the Yangtze River from scratch, which shows that this person has extraordinary abilities. But after all, people are no match for age and years. Since Mr. Wu retired to the second line because of his illness, the Wu family has actually begun to go downhill. But no one thought that during this period of time, the entire Wu family would lose so quickly. This made Mr. Wu suffer the whole person. Starting with his second grandson, a young man, a proud son of heaven, suddenly got that kind of strange disease that is hard to tell. Then his eldest son and his eldest grandson were humiliated and embarrassed in Orus Hill. Even a pair of clown-like father and son in Orus Hill dare to record videos of ridicule, slander, and insult to the Wu family on the internet. Since that time, the successive blows made his body go from bad to worse. But he didn't expect that it was just the beginning of a nightmare. What made him most unacceptable was that the reputation of the Wu family was destroyed some time ago. As the top family, the Wu has an ambiguous relationship with the notorious Gang of Beggars, and was even reported that they secretly supported the fact that the Gang of Beggars are related to the gang. The reputation of Wu's family fell to the bottom in one fell swoop. That time, the damage to the old Master Wu was extremely great, and it was also the time when he passed out after a stroke and did not wake up for several days. Today, he finally woke up leisurely, but the physical and mental state is no longer as good as before, and the whole person is showing a state of dying fatigue. The Ragnar brothers and their children and grandchildren hurried to the family ward. When they saw Mr. Wu at this time, all of them were shocked. No one had thought that Elder Wu's complexion and spirit was so bad now, and his whole person seemed to be an old master who was already in his dying years, and he might be dead at any time. Looking at his father at this time, Ragnar couldn't help but feel ashamed. Can't help but whisper, "Dad, how are you feeling?" Elder Wu looked at Ragnar with anger in his eyes. He took a few breaths violently, and then slurred his words. You prodigal thing. Look at the woman you married, look at your damn brother-in-law. He took us for granted and hurt us." Ragnar said with shame, "Dad, I'm sorry, I didn't expect things to be like this." Yes, you're sorry?" Elder Wu stammered these words, gritted his teeth and said, "You have spent half of life in my hands. You were right with me. Sorry to have. What's the use? With that, Mr. Wu coughed violently because he was too emotional. Ahem. Ah. Ragnar hurried forward to help the old master comfort his chest. Elder Wu struggled to push him, and said coldly, I have been in business for dozens of years and have encountered countless enemies. I didn't expect to lose to my son. With tears in his eyes, Ragnar was extremely ashamed and regretful. He loved his wife Yakina all his life, but he did not expect that Yakina would give him such a great gift.